Smart money is going all in on Bitcoin, and that's what we need to discuss within today's update video. Because what I'm seeing now for Bitcoin is insane. The RSI index for the Bitfinex longs just hit the highest level we've seen this entire bull market. So smart money is showing a lot of conviction that Bitcoin is going to hold above the 50 weekly moving average trend line. And today we are going to see one of the most important closes this entire bull market. So that is what we will discuss within today's update video, but also a lot more. Like all of the most important Bitcoin charts and price data, we will take a dive into what's the latest news hitting the markets here. I will give a big update on my Bitcoin and Ethereum trading positions, and of course my outlook for Ethereum and altcoins itself. So from there guys, make sure to first of all subscribe to the channel and watch like my latest YouTube videos, and then we can dive into the most important content. Since, like stated in the intro, the RSI on the Bitfinex longs just hit one of the highest levels, or actually the highest level, this entire bull market. So smart money is now going all in on Bitcoin. And what we can see on the RSI index now is something very interesting. Because of the RSI index basically hitting a new high for the cycle, I also think that a reversal might be getting close here. And every single time we see a reversal for the RSI of the Bitfinex longs, it means that strength is decreasing. It means that Bitfinex bulls are closing their positions, taking profits, and usually they start doing so in the move higher. So for Bitcoin, it would make a lot of sense to initiate another move higher, so the Bitfinex longs or the Bitfinex bulls are going to take profits once again on their trading positions. And once you're going to see this reversal, that is going to be your take profit moment also, or definitely the start of your take profit moment. And I think this could be a bounce for Bitcoin to new all-time highs. It could be in that cat bounce, but what I do know for certain is that the Bitfinex whales have not been wrong about Bitcoin this entire cycle. So why would that be different anytime now? We can also see it on this chart here, that once they start building off their Bitfinex long positions, that is indeed the moment where we see the parabolic move for Bitcoin already happening. So at this topping stage, actually, this peaking stage is the moment where you do want to be accumulating, and not when they are already offloading their positions. Because if that is going to be your moment for entering a Bitcoin position or buying more on spot, they are literally dumping on you. So that is very important to be understanding. But yeah, for now it seems like the peak is getting very close, and this is then in that case a very good buy opportunity for Bitcoin in my personal opinion. And yeah, the smart money is simply flowing and flooding in for Bitcoin here, and it seems like the smart money is also betting on a weekly close for Bitcoin above the 50 weekly moving average, because I think that is going to be a very important factor for Bitcoin to see where we are going to be heading next. Because like stated in a lot of my update videos, I think Bitcoin needs to hold above this level, because otherwise it's going to be the first weekly close under the 50 weekly moving average this entire bull market. So it is going to be a very bearish signal, but I do want to see 2 to 3 weekly closes to confirm a potential bear market start here, just like we saw in 2021. I will be waiting for those weekly closes to truly flip bearish if I think a bear market is going to get started. But for now I will stay cautiously bullish, and I'm going to keep a close eye on today's close here and on the weekly close for Bitcoin, because it is indeed going to be a very important one. I think if Bitcoin is going to be able to close above the level and see him bounce back to the upside, it could go quite fast, just because we have so much short liquidity stacking up at the top side for Bitcoin. So in that case we could see somewhat of a short squeeze happening quite fast. Also here on the 2 weekly for the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, there are some very big liquidation clusters above us now, and Bitcoin does tend to move, and markets in general do tend to move to the places where the most liquidity is laying, do tend to move to the places where max pain is reachable. And at the downside, I must say there's now also some liquidity stacking up, so I'm interested to see how this is going to continue here in the next few days, because there is some long liquidity stacking up so at the top side now. So people are taking longs once again on Bitcoin. Just to come back to both Bitcoin scenarios, like stated earlier, I think we could see a dead cat bounce, but also a new move to all-time highs, and then we have some important levels. I still have some limit orders open in this green box. I will give a big update about that later in this update video on my trading position, but actually coming back to this level, indeed there my limit orders are laying. I will be accumulating more because because I think from that bounce, if Bitcoin is going to drop ever so slightly lower, we could see quite a larger bounce. But now we are basically bouncing from off our first area of interest where we opened 2 trading positions on Bitcoin. I think now Bitcoin needs to move to the 116k level if we are going to see a bounce. From there we could see a rejection because it's a major level for Bitcoin, and every single time we get rejected from off this level, we do see big drawdowns. So that's important to remember. And I think from there, if we see another drawdown, it could be quite a large one, because every single time we get rejected from off these levels, the drawdowns do get also larger a little bit, it seems like. But what we also do know is once we break above this level, if Bitcoin is going to find the strength and we can be somewhat short squeezing back to the top side, I think if we could be breaking through this level, new all-time highs are also going to be inevitable, because that is what happened every single time, breaking that exact resistance level for Bitcoin. So that is looking very interesting. Also with the stablecoin supply ratio now dropping to lows we've only seen 2 times before this bull market basically, and always it's corresponded with the biggest dip and the biggest bottom during the local consolidation phase here in 2024, for example, but also the tariffs low here back in April. You always see a lot of money flowing back into stable coins, but of course there's also going to be somewhat of a level where people are going to be accumulating the dip once again, re-entering the market with their stable coins. And it seems like this is indeed a very important level for Bitcoin, where people are getting interested to open new positions, to re-enter with their stable coins into the market. So very interesting on-chain data, and once again a potential bottom signal for Bitcoin. Also with this chart in mind that the Bitcoin whales are now starting to place big orders again, which is in my opinion also a very good signal for the markets here, that smart money and big whales, big order size now re-entering the market. That is of course looking very good. And now I do want to discuss some important news we've seen hitting on the markets and some stuff which is going on now, like the US government shutdown, which is now predicted to end at November the 20th, according to Polymarket traders. So let's see about exactly that. It keeps on taking longer and longer. It's by far the longest US government shutdown ever. But yeah, let's see when this will be ending. I think now a lot of people are also starting to talk about it. It feels like the market also cares about it. So if you could see somewhat of a surprise deal happening sooner, I think it could be a catalyst for the markets. But now the market is pricing in November the 20th itself to end the US government shutdown. So let's see how assets are going to perform after a potential ending of the shutdown itself. Also, the Deutsche Bank is now expecting the Fed to start growing the balance sheet once again in Q1 2026. That means quantitative easing is coming, and that is going to be super bullish for crypto. And yes, I'm super excited to see if that is truly going to be the case. What I'm a little bit less excited about is that now we are seeing for the December FOMC decision is that the rate cut odds are coming down ever so slightly, and that is most definitely not something you do want to see. I think that's also why we saw a little bit of weakness this evening basically and yesterday. But yeah, let's see. These odds could still be rising back to the top side, then it's potentially going to be very bullish once again. And still the market is in favor of another rate cut in December. So let's keep our eyes on the odds, because it is definitely going to be a very important Fed meeting once again there in December. And now I do want to give a big update on my Bitcoin trading position, because we have been talking about my Bitcoin trading position a little bit earlier here. So to come back to the charts, a dead cat bounce or a new move to all-time highs is going to be my bullish scenario here, because that is what I opened my trades for. So because I'm expecting a bounce for Bitcoin, I still think it's possible. So yes, I have 2 limit orders, or 2 orders which got filled, were originally placed as limit orders at the 103k level and the 100k level, and I still have some orders open at 98 and 93k up until a position size of about 150k. So let's see how this is going to play out there, and I think it's going to be a very good trading position if you could see somewhat of a strong reaction here for Bitcoin. But I do want to see this weekly close, and this weekly close is or going to validate or going to be a big invalidation for me for my Bitcoin trading position. So I think for this position, and I stated early on the channel, it could be a very short-term position. I could be keeping it open for longer. I don't know exactly yet. So it's going to be important, if you're watching this trade, to also come over to the VIP Telegram channel, because there I'm updating in real time about my trading position. So if you do want to know everything about my trading position itself and a lot of other stuff I'm sharing in here, make sure to come over to the VIP channel. You can find the link in the description. on this update video if you do want more updates on my trading position. It's not only me, but also Crypto Rover and 5 professional other traders that are active in this community. So make sure to come and check it out. I think it is very valuable here to join. And now, since we discussed my Bitcoin trade, I now do want to dive into Ethereum, because Ethereum is still holding above the 50 weekly moving average. I don't think we are going to see a weekly close below that level for ETH at the current moment, but yeah, that is also of course a very big drawdown, so it is logical. But we are now at a very important support level for Ethereum, where I think we could see a very nice bounce from if Bitcoin is indeed going to hold above. I think Ethereum could see some weakness maybe on the very short term time frame, because more liquidity needs to flow back into Bitcoin to save this weekly close. And actually I'm also expecting a little bit of volatility today, later on Sunday, because that is what we have seen over the last few weeks on Sunday, some volatility definitely in the evening hours. And because the weekly close, I think some liquidity is going to flow back or out into Bitcoin. And yes, I think it could get a little bit volatile, to be honest. So let's see about exactly that. But back to Ethereum, I think this is indeed a very interesting support area, and that's what I'm betting on with my Ethereum trading position. For the local weakness, I can be expecting, because more liquidity needs to flow back into Bitcoin, I still have my limit orders open also for ETH at 2.8, 3K and 3.1K level. So I think this is also going to be a very interesting position here, and let's see how we can be playing this out in the near future. And if you do want to join me, for example, with my Ethereum trading position, you can be doing so on LBank, because LBank is now offering an amazing deposit bonus and a generous refund on your first trading position up to 5K, and the maximum deposit bonus is 2.5K here. So we basically have a double offer, and not only that, you can now also claim a $100 voucher bonus to immediately start trading with if you're going to sign up on LBank as a new user. Of course, do know this is an affiliate link. I work closely with LBank to make sure I can offer these stuff and these bonuses to you guys, to my audience, so you will also be supporting the channel with it. I do want to be totally transparent with that, but I think with this bonus you can definitely make a nice position on Ethereum or a lot of other altcoin pairs, because they are indeed listing a lot. They are listing by far the fastest out there, so that's absolutely amazing. And yes, you can be trading a lot and you can be opening a new trade with that bonus on LBank. So make sure to come and claim it if you're getting interested in that. You can find the link in the description on this update video to the deposit bonus, and that's where you can start trading with it, of course. And then I do want to also show you which targets I have for my Ethereum trading position, which could also help you guys a little bit, for example, with your thesis on altcoins or maybe also on Ethereum. Of course, also coming back to the offer, and no way financial advice, always do your own research of where you do want to trade yourself and what you do want to be claiming, for example. But now back to Ethereum, I think the 1.6.8 and the second Fibonacci levels are still going to be big resistance levels, but also reachable levels for this cycle. If Bitcoin is going to hold and we could see a bounce, then I think Ethereum is going to see some very strong momentum in the near future. It does not make sense for me to see just a very small all-time high for ETH this cycle at 5K. I still think ETH is programmed to move higher to 1.6.8 in the second, which lays about 5 to 6K, and between those levels I will be slowly taking profits on my Ethereum trading position. So that's exactly the levels I'm currently watching for Ethereum. What I'm seeing now in the market is that somewhat of institutional money is buying Ethereum once again, with BlackRock buying after lots and lots of weeks of selling. Basically, they're now starting to buy a little bit once again. So if this trend is going to continue, it is going to look very good and bullish for Ethereum here in the near future. And this is the narrative we also do need to see return for Ethereum and altcoins to flip bullish once again. Treasury companies, ETFs, just institutional inflows, that's what we need back to see another move higher, because that is also exactly what catapulted Ethereum here to new all-time highs. And guys, that was it for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's update video. If you did so, make sure to subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube videos. Then I will see you guys in my next update video tomorrow.